have interviewed Glenn before. He is the founder and CEO of the Imperfectly Perfect Campaign. I co-authored the volume 1 of the book with him and many other people. It is a focus on changing the narrative of mental health worldwide. And so his reach and what he has done for the world of mental health is incredible, taking the stigma out of talking about mental health, and also, you know, showing high profile people at their weakest parts. As you could see in, if you're watching live stream right now, you could see in his background. So Glenn, welcome. I'm good. So Glenn, tell me about let's just talk about the let's talk about volume 2, which is coming up soon. You are currently doing a lot of work for volume 2, and let us know a little bit about what is expected, when it's expected to come out, what you're doing in preparation for it, because publishing a book is a lot of work, as we talk about every single day. So tell us about what is going on in the background for that.
Ooh, well, you know what? It's exciting because I love sharing people's stories. That's everything in its entirety about the Imperfectly Perfect campaign. So we bring together a lot of the public as well as a lot of public figures, i.e. celebrities, corporate leaders, people who are thought leaders in this world, game changers that want to change that narrative around mental health and the adversity that they've been through. They get to share that through our international platform, which again has already touched the lives of over 12 million and featured over 500 of the world's biggest names. And it really is just dispelling and breaking down those masks that society has basically made us put on, and brought it right back to basics. So yeah, we bring around 20 co-authors together. We amplify it through our platform. Everyone shares it. We have events. Our last one for volume 1, which you were a part of. We had our inaugural event in Hollywood. We had celebrities there. We had media there. We had press, publication coverage. And it was just incredible. It was a great night just to really come together and break all the basis down of superficial conversations and everyone get to share their stories. So yeah, at the moment, behind the scenes, it's a lot of work. Volume 2, as well as bringing my own book out, One Man's Mission to Redefine Imperfection. So it's go, go, go.
Yes, and I love it. And it is go, go, go. We message every day and we talk about all of the go, go, go that you're doing,
Yes.
that I'm doing, everything that's happening. But one thing that Franklin and I were just talking about is all of the work that it takes to get to this. And we have often discussed the whole thing of success being like an iceberg, where right now people see the tip, everything comes to fruition, but the majority of an iceberg is literally under the water, and therefore they don't see the time, the sacrifice, the effort that goes into it. And even you today talking to me about what is going on with this, these things that, why is this doing this or that doing that? And and the time that goes into everything. Talk about that, because I think people don't understand. They just see, ooh, you had an event in Hollywood. Ooh, there were a lot of celebrities there. Ooh, you had this, you were on this TV show, that TV show, you're recognized here. But tell us about all of the things that go into that, and for you to recognize opportunity and how it started for you.
Yeah, so I would say in its entirety, it is one of the hardest things that I have ever done, walk this journey. But I've done it by putting one foot in front of the other. We don't know what we don't know, right? And that's
Right.
what me and yourself always talk about. you have to have the right people around you. And to find those right people, you have to go through a lot of wrong people.
Mm.
I'm very transparent. I call a spade when I say it is the tip of the iceberg that people will look at what I've achieved and go, that's incredible. Look at this. You must be making all this money. And in the background, I didn't go down the route of conventional ways with a non-profit. I did it all myself because I didn't believe in the government. I didn't want funding and I didn't want to ask the public for donations. Do you know how hard that makes it when you've got no experience in what you're doing? And I
Right.
jumped into construction 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. So people often don't see that. Again, like you say, the inaugural event in Hollywood. I live in Australia. I'd never contemplated an event, let alone in Hollywood, trying to do the logistics and get everything together, then network. And you just think how much it blows your mind in hindsight, but you realize everything's a lesson, everything's a blessing. And yes, you will find out if you look at my story and my journey. I am probably one of the most transparent people in saying how hard this journey is, like yourself, Christy, because in a world full of highlight reels, sadly, too many people compare, compete, and judge, and it affects their mental health. And that's what we need to take it back to basics and go, you know what? It is a hard journey. You can get there. You can have integrity. You can have morals. You can surround yourself with the right people. But as cliche as this saying is, stop looking at the end result. Stop looking at people's end results. Start looking at the process and the person that you become. Because as I say, it is cliche. It's not the end result. It's the person that you become. But it truly is. You gain discernment. You gain resilience. That passion just goes to a whole new level. And if you are somebody who is normally procrastinated or felt fear of judgment or scarcity or lack of, hey, I'm the first to say I used to be that person. But the more you walk on this journey, and maybe I always say there's three things that you need. A little bit of belief in yourself. B, faith. And C, daily consistent actionable steps. That's all it takes, one foot in front of the other. Is this journey easy? No. Are the rewards far greater than you could ever imagine? Yes. But find those people who will pick you up off the floor when you were struggling.
And that's so true. Like, I mean, I could literally, I'm over here thinking about the three different ways that I want to take this conversation. And like, you know, in that, it's very, very important. But this one, it just keeps on coming back to my mind because I think there is a lack of people recognizing opportunity or creating opportunity for themselves. And I really love, because a lot of times people are like, oh, how did you meet those people? How did you get to those people? How did you know them? And I think the important part of that for you is, and if I get it wrong, but was the fact that you were a photographer, you were in LA, and for free, you did different photo shoots for people and explained what you were wanting to do, and that created the opportunity for you. And I want you to talk about that and how today so many people just want instant money, instant cash, instant credibility when there's nothing instant about it.
Yeah, I think if we break it back down and really take it to the underlying issue is people want the results. They don't want to put the work in that it takes to get there. And that's unfortunate that we see on social media, again, highlights where people understand this as well. And they will manipulate people emotionally and say, I can teach you this, and within 12 weeks, you can become this and an ultimate millionaire. Sadly, that's not the case. If you see the people that are on my socials or the people that Christy, you know, and you network with, that means integrity and morals has to be built. You have to earn a seat at the table.
Yes.
If you read their autobiographies, and this is what I always say, stop listening to Tom, Dick, or Harry off social media and go and find an autobiography or a memoir of someone who has made a difference in this world, because you will learn so much from them and their results speak for themselves. They're not trying to beat their chest or act as if they're somebody else. They already are that person. So to meet those people, as I said earlier, you've got to go through a lot of the wrong people. But you truly have to earn a seat at your table. So show results. Show that you're not just going to quit at the first hurdle. Yes, you might be looked over, looked through, looked around, sacrificed, struggled, the rest of it. But how much can you keep getting back up? And how much can you keep on networking with people? Like you said, photographer, I started there. So I went to LA, Nobody paid me. It was, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to roll my sleeves up and I'm going to show people what I can do. I started merely utilizing social media to reach out to people. Jeremy Jackson, my brother in arms now, best friend for like 6 years, through everything Baywatch, over 1 billion viewers. I reached out to him. I had nothing to lose. And that's where people fall again. They think, oh, I could never reach that person. If you got nothing to lose, why not? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, as me and Christy often say. So I
Yeah.
reached out to him. He got back to me. We caught up. And he literally just shot with me for the rest of the day. And the rest is history when it comes to the Imperfectly Perfect campaign. It started getting bigger. The credibility came because the bigger names came. And as soon as you get the bigger names and the networks that you build relationships with full longevity, it's almost like you're given this open door and this access to everybody going, well, if that person's around those people, then they must be credible. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna look a little bit deeper into this. But again, I always say, I'm the first to say, do your due diligence,
Hmm.
right? Don't just take things by hearsay. Don't give your power away. If somebody's telling you, I can do this, this, and this, and you can do the same, listen, gain the discernment. And that's part of that process, isn't it,
Yeah.
Christy? It's like you walk on it, and as soon as you get discernment, and I'll give testimony to God each and every day. I wasn't brought up around religion or anything, but my journey, if you can gain that discernment on when people are coming to you, don't make judgment because people are conditioned by society again, and you'll start seeing people's actions. They say everything. Talk is cheap, action means everything.
Absolutely. And I think I mean, we were just talking about that this morning about, seeing people that say, I can, make you a 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure earner and this, that, or the other thing. And yet you look at their downloads or their websites and you're just like, you know, again, like you said, no judgment, but at the same time, you have to understand that what we have and what exists out there is you have to do your due diligence. You just have to, and that is such an important thing to do, because if you're not going to look at the background, if you're just going to take it for face value, oh, I'm going to do this, then great, okay, fine, but you're going to get burned. And like you said too, the important part is you're going to go through a lot of the wrong people to get to the right people. Unfortunately, we're both
Yeah.
testimonies to that. We are
We can
very
make a whole show on that.
right. We could have a whole show on that, but like you said, the important part there is that then when you find the right people, you keep them. You know who they are because they're there, they're doing the work, they're in it with you. And I think that is one of the key elements to all of this, this journey of success. Which the other one that you also said is people are just looking for the quick buck, and if you're looking for a quick buck, then the first time you come up against defeat or failure, you're going to quit. If you don't love it, if you are not in love with what you're doing, then guess what? You're probably going to quit at the first sign of difficulty. Or if what you're going to do is a means to the end so you can get to what you want to do, then you'll probably stick it out longer. Talk about that.
I think it all comes down to reputation and credibility. When you've got to go through the wrong ones, like, let's face it, at times we do think we're quite a good judge of character, and we can say, oh, that person's great and this person's great, and then suddenly they do you over. They look over you, look through you, and they've got what they want and they disappear. Now, again, that can be said, that's a reflection of something that's going on with you. How are you attracting that? Have you got these habitual cycles where you're not setting your boundaries and you're not growing? So I always look at it in terms of that way. But I will just reiterate and say, to find the 1% of people that have got you in your corner, and I'll call Christy one of those for me, and we've only met a handful of times, but it's that you don't care about the accolades, you don't care about the external stuff, you care about the heart, and you care about, hey, let's pick Glenn up off the floor when he's having a rough time, and vice versa. They're the type of people that you want. And sometimes you will see a lot of quotes and everything again on social media pertaining to be these 5 people that you need in your circle and your corner and to be successful. Well, yes, you can get around great minds, thought leaders that can really expand your mindset and your
Mm-hmm.
wisdom. But don't forget those people that are there to pick you up off the floor when you've got nothing and they want to know Glenn behind the scenes or Christy behind the scenes. They don't have to have money. They don't have to have all this grandeur. Remember, social media is a means to an end.
Yep.
It isn't everything because take that away from you. You've got reality and you've got people around you. So never, when you hear people say, get rid of negativity in your environment, get rid of this, how can you say that you want to help people and heal people in this world if you're just going to cut people off because they're negative? Lead by your actions and see how you can help them.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, if God's working through you, lead by that action. Don't preach. Don't put yourself on a pedestal and say, I'm better than that person because I've learnt this and I'm better. Because we know better than each other. Find the right people by morals and integrity. If you say you're going to do something, do something. If you can't, humble yourself. We are imperfect, and that's my whole mission, imperfectly perfect. Humble yourself, hold yourself accountable, and that's why we bring people together, even in the book series. It's thought leaders, it's people that want to make a ripple effect to help people, but lead by their imperfections. Yes, you've got these big stages, international, TEDx, and everything's like perfect. Well, you know what? The Imperfectly Perfect campaign is about getting on an international stage and speaking from your heart. You can cry, you can scream, you can do whatever you want, but you've got a community around you that
Mm-hmm.
want to support you and amplify that message. Because when I was struggling and when other people have struggled on their journey, the last thing you are is perfect. You just
Yep.
want real people that are going to pick you up and help you move forward.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. And I'll be like, I know I was one of the co-authors of Value One, but when I read other people's stories in that, but I mean, I couldn't put it down. I read it on the flight from to Hollywood, to come to LA to for the event, and I was just like one story after the next story after the next story after, I was just like just blown away. And then you sent me a couple of the other stories that are coming into volume 2, and I'm just like, wow. And I think people need to understand, and then I'm going to give you the last word here, and we'll have you back on again very soon, especially with the book launch coming. But I want you to talk about, I want people to understand that your story can impact a lot of people if you just open up about it, because everybody has a story. Everybody's life has had some sort of downturn, but are you going to be a victim or a victor? Are you going to let it take you down, or are you going to help teach other people through your story? And so I want to leave you with the last word, Glenn.
I was just saying, in its entirety, if people can realize that by sharing that story, it is going to inspire a lot of people. And if you want to take it forward and you want to be a part of a collective, then reach out to us. It's an amazing thing to do. You can change lives, you can save lives, but most importantly, the opportunities and blessings that come for you
Mm-hmm.
is unparalleled.
It is. It is. And I couldn't agree with you more. And I think it's a wonderful thing that you are doing, that you have created, and this platform that exists. So how can people connect with you?
Yeah, sure. So they can find me at glennmarsden.com. They can find imperfectlyperfectcampaign.org, and you can find us across all social media platforms, Amazon, everywhere to get the book. So go out and get yourself a copy of the book and read Christie's story in there, volume 1, and get ready to be inspired, guys. Thank you
Yes.
for having me, guys.